After more than 100 years, the true formula of Thomas Edison, hidden throughout history, has finally been revealed. People know his inventions. They know the light bulb, the phonograph, the cameras. But almost no one truly knows the mind behind all of them. For decades, experts tried to decipher the Edison enigma. How did a boy rejected by school, ignored by society, and underestimated by nearly everyone manage to build one of the most extraordinary legacies the world has ever seen? Researchers dug through his yellowed journals, analyzed his letters, studied his lab notebooks, reconstructed his routines, and compared his habits with modern high-performance standards. And then they noticed something remarkable. The answer had always been right in front of everyone, but no one could see it. Edison's success wasn't the result of talent. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was method. It was decision. It was formula. And today, that formula, guarded by history for more than a century, will finally be revealed to you. But before we continue, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Now, let's begin the revelation. The first part of the formula is simple, yet almost no one applies it. Edison mastered the power of intelligent work. When researchers analyzed his experiment notebooks, they discovered something fascinating. Edison never worked blindly. He had strategy, he had method, he had logic. Each note looked like a piece of a much larger puzzle. Each test had a purpose. Each attempt was part of a map that existed only in his mind. While many people work hard, Edison worked smart. He believed that effort without direction is just exhaustion, but effort with direction becomes power. What the world called genius was in truth the result of a carefully built system. The second part of the formula is unlimited patience, now proven by history. Researchers found that Edison spent years testing materials in search of the perfect light bulb filament. Years, not weeks, not months, full years. And today we know through modern psychology that very few people could repeat the same process hundreds of times with the same determination. But for Edison, patience wasn't a personality trait, it was a tool, as essential as any piece of equipment in his lab. He understood something science only proved recently. Extraordinary people don't win because they do things fast. They win because they keep going. Edison continued when everyone else would have quit. The third part of the formula is chosen sacrifice, not imposed sacrifice. When studying his life, experts noticed a clear pattern. Edison deliberately chose what he needed to give up in order to protect his vision of the future. He sacrificed sleep, he sacrificed leisure, he sacrificed comfort, he sacrificed what most people guard dearly, and he never complained, because he understood a brutal truth. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. This is why so few reach extraordinary places. Those places demand renunciations most people are not willing to make. The fourth part is unbreakable consistency. When historians rebuilt his timeline, they discovered a nearly unbelievable number, more than 1,000 failed attempts before the functional light bulb. Edison didn't see failure, he saw data, he saw direction. He saw progress. His consistency was so solid that it became almost a psychological phenomenon. Consistency is trying again when the world expects you to stop. It is the line that separates those who want from those who act. The fifth part of the formula is the discipline that creates confidence. Edison had strict schedules, long routines, and rituals he repeated for years. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't depend on inspiration. He knew that you act first and the feeling comes later. Discipline produced results. Results produced confidence. Confidence produced momentum. And brick by brick, habit by habit, Edison built one of the most impressive careers in history. The sixth part is self-confidence that doesn't ask for permission. Records show that Edison was publicly mocked, called stubborn, called a failure, dismissed by experts, journalists, and even other inventors. But he didn't need anyone to believe in him because he believed in himself. When asked about his failures, he answered, "I have not failed. I've just found thousands of ways that won't work." His self-confidence wasn't arrogance, it was clarity. Clarity of vision, clarity of direction, clarity of what had to be done. The seventh part is the positive attitude that turns into fuel. One of the most studied moments of his life happened on the night his laboratory caught fire. Years of research gone, rare equipment destroyed, entire projects reduced to ashes. But instead of despair, the records show he told his children, "We are rid of our mistakes. Tomorrow we start again." He didn't deny reality, he simply chose how to face it. And that choice kept him moving when everything seemed lost. And finally, the eighth part, absolute focus. By analyzing his routine, experts noticed that Edison had a rare ability. He said no without guilt. He asked only one question: does this bring me closer to my vision? If it didn't, it was removed. As simple as that. Focus is not doing everything, it is eliminating what doesn't matter. And this was the final piece of the formula that shaped his life. The world only saw the light bulb, it saw the light, it saw the result. But now you know what history hid for more than a century. 8 decisions, 8 behaviors, 8 pillars that formed the formula of the impossible. Edison proved each one of them with his own life. But there is something greater than all the parts, the decision that activated them all. Edison never gave up. That is what lit the world, and that is what can transform yours. If this video inspired you, don't let this message disappear in your timeline. Subscribe to the channel now, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and help this project reach its first 1,000 subscribers. Every subscription keeps this work alive and makes it possible for stories like this to continue. Because, as Edison taught us, success begins with a decision, and that decision begins today.